Welcome to this lecture on technology transfer and manufacturing. Technology transfer to manufacturing operations is the process of moving from small-scale R&D processes, prototypes, and know-how to larger-scale bulk commercial manufacturing processes. This differs from the business development type of tech transfer discussed earlier or licensing IP from external sources. In moving from R&D to commercial operations, difficulties can arise because the two functions have different priorities. Commercial ops concerns itself with reproducibility, compliance, efficiency, and accountability, while R&D values creativity, scientific innovation, and flexibility. This clash of cultures often negatively affects ease of transfer through lack of respect or ownership during transfer, not invented here, syndrome, heavy workloads, and incomplete or inaccurate information transfer. Several main models of technology transfer are used in the biomedical products industry. The push model has R&D driving the transfer, handing off process knowledge to operations. The pull model has commercial operations sharing ownership early in development and driving the process, which tends to improve process robustness. Personnel transfer involves having R&D employees transfer to commercial operations to ensure process consistency and carry tacit knowledge that may not be fully documented. Project management role is key in the transfer. Multidisciplinary project teams ensure accountability and communication across functions. Each model has advantages and challenges. Many companies use combinations depending on product type and organizational structure. FDA oversight is a key consideration in final product development stages including manufacturing. Companies also seek ISO certification to demonstrate best practices and high-quality performance. The term CGMP stands for Current Good Manufacturing Practice, a set of current, scientifically sound methods, practices, and principles implemented and documented during product development and production to ensure consistent manufacture of safe, pure, and potent products. CGMP regulations apply to both manufacturing processes and facilities. They are expected to be in place throughout clinical studies, with requirements increasing as development progresses toward commercialization. Compliance includes sterility assurance, validation, QA/QC implementation, and extensive documentation. CGMP controls cover numerous activities essential for consistent quality. Record keeping and documentation provide the foundation for demonstrating compliance and enabling investigation when issues arise. Training and qualifying of personnel ensures staff can perform their responsibilities correctly. Raw materials selection and purchasing establishes quality from the start of production. Equipment verification confirms systems operate as intended. Process validation demonstrates consistent performance. Specification and quality control define acceptable product characteristics. Sanitation and cleanliness prevent contamination. Complaint handling addresses any issues that emerge. Each activity requires documented procedures and evidence of execution according to those procedures. CGMP requires robust quality systems encompassing both quality control and quality assurance functions. Quality control responsibilities include assessing suitability of incoming components, in-process materials, and finished goods. QC evaluates performance of manufacturing processes to ensure specifications and limits are met. It also determines acceptability of each batch of product for release. Quality assurance responsibilities include review and approval of all procedures related to production and maintenance, review of associated records, and auditing and evaluating trend analyses. While QC focuses on testing and measurement, QA ensures the overall system is designed and operating to produce quality products consistently. Process validation is part of CGMP and required to obtain a manufacturing license. It represents confirmation through examination and evidence that a manufacturing process has high level of assurance it will reliably and consistently produce the intended product. The definition is establishing documented evidence that provides high degree of assurance that a specific process will consistently produce a product meeting predetermined specifications and quality attributes. Other validation documentation needed includes analytical method validation to ensure test methods work correctly, facility and equipment validation, software validation, and cleaning validation to prevent cross-contamination. Validation must be completed before commercial production begins. The pharmacologically active drug molecule is known as the active pharmaceutical ingredient, with final dosage form containing API and other excipients. Manufacturing for pharmaceuticals or small molecules requires chemical reactors where controlled reactions synthesize API, plus mixers, filters, and dryers. The end product is defined by the ingredients. For biologics or large molecules, manufacturing requires large bioreactor tanks where live mammalian or bacterial cells are grown and harvested. Importantly, biologics are defined by the manufacturing process. The process is the product, which is more complex and difficult to ensure reproducibility of the cell line compared to chemical synthesis. The investment decision to scale up is similar for both product types but carries different technical risks. Earliest scaled-up material occurs at advanced preclinical phase with up to 1 kilo quantities. This represents first-stage scale-up. At this point, the manufacturing process should yield product close to final purity requirements. Financial evaluation for cost of goods sold should take place while characteristics of final product are established, including formulation, shelf life, and packaging. The process must then be scalable to move to multiple kilos or tons of quantity for commercial production, with test results comparable to early toxicology characteristics to ensure the scaled product remains equivalent. Commercial manufacturing plans address approval timeline, demand forecasts, product definition, supply chain, facility requirements, COGS, and risk management. Medical device manufacturing requires careful pre-manufacturing considerations before pilot or full-scale production. Customer needs must be verified and validated to ensure the design meets actual requirements. Those needs must be translated into design and performance requirements that manufacturing can achieve. Material selection affects both product performance and manufacturing processes. Packaging and sterilization methods must be determined based on product requirements and market needs. Preclinical testing validates design performance. Engineering analyses for production, assembly, and testing ensure manufacturability. Throughout this process, design for manufacturing principles should simplify production while ensuring quality, reliability, and performance. Sometimes it is better to buy rather than build manufacturing capability. Cost considerations allow avoiding significant upfront investment and conserving money for future use when growing sales better support expansion. Time is saved because the contract manufacturer is already set up for business, speeding setup, time to market, and troubleshooting. Capability advantages come from experienced CMO staff who have done this before. Capacity flexibility allows adjusting quantities produced depending on demand. However, risk trade-offs exist. While risk is reduced in most areas, the trade-offs include increased operating costs, greater oversight requirements, and less ability to directly control the process. The make versus buy decision should consider strategic importance of manufacturing as well as these practical factors. Packaging comprises activities involving designing and producing containers and wrappers for products, integrally related to labeling and branding. Reasons for packaging include protection of the product from manufacturer to distributor to customer, preventing spoilage, leakage, and spillage. Containment during transport ensures product integrity. Identification allows easy recognition of product, brand, and manufacturer. Safety features protect certain populations, pediatric-resistant packaging for example. Convenience helps distributors and customers with shipping, stocking, display, handling, opening, use, and reuse. Promotion and communication reinforce brand advertising and provide consumer information about features and usage. Packaging is treated as cost of goods sold for trade product. Distribution is concerned with channels used to make products available to final customers and how products move through those channels. Channel selection must be appropriate to product and company objectives, providing access to predetermined market share while remaining flexible. Distribution accounts for about 2 to 3% of sales, so the supply chain must be managed like any other business function. In biomedical products, legal requirements usually dictate endpoints for distribution to patients. The classic two-step approach uses manufacturer to wholesaler to pharmacy. However, manufacturers may use multiple channels, selling through wholesalers while also directly to chain drugstores and big box retailers. Specialty distribution serves products with special handling requirements. Wholesalers handle a huge portion of biomedical products distribution. The top three, AmerisourceBergen, Cardinal, McKesson, account for 85 to 90% of pharmaceutical product sales, with many regional players as well. They play more than a middleman function. They purchase, take title, and pay for goods bought from manufacturers. Wholesalers service 60,000 to 80,000 different customers, including pharmacies, clinics, hospitals, and others. They provide customers opportunity to better manage inventory through same-day or next-day delivery. Other services include third-party claims processing, financing arrangements, promotion support, and product movement and inventory reporting. This concentration creates both efficiency and negotiating power dynamics. Counterfeit products represent a significant and growing threat. Defined as products deliberately and fraudulently mislabeled with respect to identity, contents, or source, counterfeits also include illegally imported, stolen, or substandard products. They can involve branded or generic products with correct, incorrect, or no active ingredients or incorrect quantities. Counterfeit drug sales alone are estimated at more than $200 billion globally in 2016, an increase of more than 180% since 2010, creating a thriving secondary and gray market worldwide. Methods by which these products enter the supply chain are growing more sophisticated and complex. Industry countermeasures include government cooperation, product seizures, legal prosecution, and supply chain security technologies. Product recall is a process for withdrawing or removing a product from the distribution chain because of a defect, serious adverse event complaints, or counterfeiting concerns. Recalls can be initiated by the manufacturer, wholesaler, importer, distributor, or regulatory authority. Product is gathered from the supply chain, segregated from other product, clearly labeled, and stored for eventual destruction. A key factor is conducting proper reconciliation between delivered and recovered quantities to ensure all affected product is retrieved. Notification of competent authorities and customers must be prompt. Recalls represent expensive, time-consuming logistical challenges with potential damage to company reputation and image. Though handled well, they can demonstrate company commitment to quality. This week examine technology transfer to manufacturing operations and related commercial considerations. Technology transfer bridges R&D and commercial manufacturing, requiring careful management of cultural differences and knowledge transfer. CGMP requirements ensure consistent quality production through documented procedures, validation, and quality systems. Scale-up decisions balance technical risks with commercial requirements. Contract manufacturing offers alternatives to internal production with different risk profiles. Packaging and labeling fulfill multiple functions including protection, identification, and promotion. Distribution channels vary in structure and function, with wholesalers playing dominant roles. Supply chain security addresses growing counterfeit threats. Next week we examine pricing and reimbursement dynamics in biomedical products markets.